While most aren't, skin moles can be an important sign of skin cancer. When can they go from nothing to dangerous though? A new public awareness campaign, The Annoying Mole, reminds people to check, not ignore them. Well, joining me is Deb Girard, Executive Director of the Melanoma Foundation of New England, and Tania Chrzanowski, melanoma survivor. Thank you ladies so much for your time. Deb, we're going to start with you. Talk about the campaign and the importance of it and what you guys are doing to spread the word.
Absolutely. So May is Melanoma Awareness Month. We know that about 3.5 million skin cancers are going to be diagnosed this year, and of that, about 76,000 will be new melanomas. So the goal of awareness for melanoma really is get it checked. Look at things that are on your skin, look at things that are new and evolving, and get those checked. We like to remind people to get a skin check by their healthcare provider once a year, and to be cognizant on a monthly basis of things on your body that might be new and might be evolving. And we're using this campaign in a more lighthearted way to get across a very important, what we believe are life-saving messages.
And we're going to come back. There's some surprising statistics out there about the mortality rate. So we're going to come back to you about that. Tania, talk about your story though, because you're so young and yet you probably never thought you'd have to face this, and then you did. You had to go through it.
Yep. A couple of years ago, I had a spot in the back of my arm, and I noticed it was getting bigger, discolored. Somebody told me, once take an eraser, put it on it. If it's bigger than the eraser, something's not right. I used to tan religiously, never thought anything about it. Ended up going to the doctors, which the doctor almost didn't test it. And I just had a sick feeling. I got it tested, and then come to find out 2 weeks later, I had melanoma. I was completely shocked. I think it was more made me nervous that he almost didn't test it, but he just had a sick feeling that something wasn't right. So I'm thankful that I did, and it definitely changed my life completely. I wish I never stepped into a tanning bed, but everything happens for a reason.
Your intuition saved your life in this case because you just had that sinking feeling that something was wrong. Now, Deb, a younger generation needs to be more aware of the tanning, like you mentioned. Stepping into the tanning bed brings it on.
So melanoma is the second most common cancer in 15 to 29-year-olds. And if we think about that, how could young people of that age possibly have this kind of impact? It has to be through tanning. So clearly over the last few decades we've seen more indoor tanning and clearly more outdoor tanning. So we like to call it intentional tanning, being outside and really trying to get that tan. Anytime your skin changes color, you're doing something to change the structure of the DNA, and that is cancer causing. So don't burn is really important. But anytime you're changing the color of your skin, you're putting yourself at risk.
Is it hard now with you not tanning and you're trying to spread the word and reach out to younger folks? The tan, it's kind of glamorized and it makes you feel better and look skinnier and prettier. Is it hard to kind of get that message across to them saying stay out of the sun?
I'm a health teacher, so I try to advocate as much as I can. I get sick to my stomach when I hear my students, are using the tanning beds, and I look at them and I say, listen, I was you. You think you're invisible. You think that it's not going to happen to you. Cancer doesn't run in my family. I just try to do my best to say and wake them up and make them realize, you don't necessarily need to have moles. You can get skin cancer without, having moles on your skin. So it's about making smart choices and staying safe and not using the tanning beds, using your SPF and making sure you get your skin checked. You don't need to be in the tanning beds in the sun. You should go to the dermatologist at least once a year, get your yearly check just to be safe.
Now, although this is, and you're targeting a younger population, especially with, I love the hashtag you have, get it checked.
Get it checked.
And of course, the teens are all on Twitter nowadays, so it's a perfect way to reach them. But so. The mortality rate, it hits older men.
Exactly. So the two things that we're talking about is the incidence of melanoma increasing rapidly to the level of being a public health epidemic in young people, particularly young women, and the continued high mortality rates for male patients that are melanoma patients over the age of 50. And so we say, well, why is that? a few factors. Men are much less likely than women to go and have something checked. If they go for a physical and somebody happens to find it, that's a more likely scenario than them actually going and asking to have something checked. More men are, over time, outdoor workers, construction workers, people that are, spending their days out of doors. And let's remember that this is over many years. They're just not wearing protective clothing or sunscreen or any of those things. And thirdly, many men, particularly that served in the armed services in more desert-like places, were exposed to ultraviolet radiation in large amounts.
So it does affect every range of demographics,
Absolutely.
from a teenager to older men. How would you say, Tanya, that this has changed your life?
Oh, it's opened my eyes to a lot. It can happen to anybody. I just thought, like I said before earlier, I thought it didn't run in my family, and why would I get skin cancer? It's not going to happen to me. It can happen to anybody, any age group. And it just made me realize that you need to be educated. You need to realize to check your skin, and you should do it all the time. When you get out of the shower, look at your skin. Take a mirror, just make sure you can get your back. I wouldn't change anything that happened because it opened up my eyes to a lot. We think we're invisible, and it's not going to happen to you, and it does, and it will. Nobody ever wakes up one day and says, "Ooh, I want melanoma." It just happens.
So you're taking a negative and turning it into a
Yeah.
positive.
And probably the most important message of that is that the thing about melanoma is that if it's caught early, it's almost always curable. There's no other cancer that you can say that about. And so that is why it's so important that we do what we can, both to advocate for ourselves, as Tanya was talking about, like something felt weird, and let's advocate for what we feel is best for our own health care, both around this and whatever health care need. And let's remember that we can do something to stop the rise of melanoma.
All right. Spreading the word on TV and on Twitter. Get it checked. Thank you so much, Tanya and Deb. Thank you.
Thank you so much.